Governor Andrew Cuomo and his top aides are facing some allegations that they had covered up the scope of the death toll in the state's nursing homes from the coronavirus. So these are very serious allegations. The latest revelations come in the wake of private remarks by the governor's top aide, Melissa DeRosa, and a series of new reports and court orders that have nearly doubled the state's official toll of nursing home deaths in the last 2 weeks. So now, understand, like I said, there are disastrous numbers. And if true, if all of this, they do an investigation, they continue to find more deaths attributable to political decisions that Cuomo had made, there needs to be serious consequences. All right. In a conversation first reported by the New York Post, yeah, I know, the New York Post, but it's been verified through the New York Times and other outlets, Ms. DeRosa told a group of top lawmakers on Wednesday during a call to address the nursing home situation that, quote, basically we froze after being asked last summer for information by the Trump administration's Department of Justice. So they were looking into this. And look, understand that this has been reported by right-wing media a lot. They've been jumping on this story. And I get why. I see why. This is a serious story. Now, at the time, the governor's office was simultaneously facing requests from the state legislature for similar information. This is, again, bipartisan. They were saying, hey, we need this information, okay? We need to find out how many people have died in these nursing homes as a result of what Governor Cuomo had ordered. So now she said, we were in a position where we weren't sure if what we were going to give the Department of Justice or what we give to you guys and what we start saying was going to be used against us, and we weren't sure if there was going to be an investigation. Now, understand that if there was an investigation, it would have been headed up by the Trump Justice Department. But that doesn't really matter at this point because these allegations are incredibly serious because, again, thousands of people had died as a result. So now, I guess the whole point here is that Cuomo is being accused of lying, covering up, so that they wouldn't face political ramifications or a political investigation, because apparently their careers and the political narrative were more important to them than the people who were dying. And that's super disgusting. More than 10,000 New Yorkers have died in these nursing homes during the pandemic as a result. Now, lawmakers, of course, on both sides jumped on this. And again, here's the thing. The right wing, yes, I mentioned that they've been all over this story, right? They've been pointing out how disastrous Cuomo has handled the coronavirus in his state. And that's true. And that is true. He's handled this very, very badly. But I always get this sneaky suspicion whenever I see Republicans, doing the right thing, trying to hold Democrats accountable, which they should. Everybody should. I always feel it out. I always feel it like it's done disingenuously for political reasons. And so understand, and this is what I hate, right? I hate whataboutism. So understand that what I'm going to say is going to sound a lot like whataboutism. And that's not the point, okay? It's kind of to point out how Republicans tend to be disingenuous about this because the Trump administration itself has also downplayed numbers. Trump has downplayed coronavirus. And you have Florida, right? You have Florida under DeSantis, right? That fired Rebecca Jones, who was a data analyst who would put up coronavirus numbers, who designed the website to give you accurate coronavirus information. DeSantis sent goons to harass her and arrest her while she was trying to put out accurate coronavirus numbers. So now the reason DeSantis did this was to open a state. And I think what, Cuomo had been doing was also along a similar, a similar lines, I think. I think the motivation was to hide numbers, to make it not seem as bad, because not only does it look bad politically for Cuomo or for any politician that would do it, but also it would prevent you from being able to open up the state. That's what I see. And again, this is and I hate to do the both sides thing on this, but it's kind of both sides. I mean, downplaying the numbers so that the businesses could open up, so that the state could, of course, get revenue. I think part of that is, at least thanks to the Trump administration being rather hands off when it came to giving aid and to these states, and not allowing Congress to pass state aid. Republicans in Congress, but again, there is the both sides, right? Gavin Newsom now trying to open up the state, been trying to open up the state before, even though the numbers in California have been absolutely disastrous. And so, again, sadly, both sides, not good. So let's get into more details. Now, the revelation of Mr. Rose's remarks comes 2 weeks after a damning report from Letitia James, who is New York's Attorney General. She accused the Cuomo administration of undercounting coronavirus-related deaths connecting to the nursing homes by the thousands. The report forced the state health department to make public more than 3,800 previously unreported deaths of residents who died outside a facility, like in a hospital, and had not been included in the state's official nursing home tally. Since then, the number of deaths connected to New York nursing homes and long-term care facilities has only ballooned to about 15,000 confirmed and presumed deaths from 12,743 in late January as of this week. Now, the administration released the latest figures as a result of a court order following a 6-month battle between the Cuomo administration and the Empire Center. So now the Empire Center is a conservative think tank, which requested a full accounting of nursing home deaths under the state's Freedom of Information law. So understand that they actually did do the right thing. So they were looking into the coronavirus deaths in the nursing homes. And so in order to get a full accounting of what's going on, whether it be so that they can use it as a political cudgel, understand that if you do something like this, if you do what Cuomo had done, well, you deserve the consequences. And while that was going on, right, the undercounting, Cuomo, after receiving massive donations from hospital groups, actually signed legislation that would quietly shield hospitals and nursing home executives from the threat of lawsuits stemming from coronavirus, the outbreak. And so the provision, which is explained by David Sirota of the Daily Poster, was inserted into an annual budget bill by Cuomo aides and created one of the nation's most explicit immunity protections for healthcare industry officials, according to legal experts. Now, if you are mad at the Trump administration trying to do immunity for corporations, then you should probably be furious as well at the Cuomo administration in New York for doing the same thing. He actually got it done and protected these companies, these executives, after receiving millions of dollars in political donations to make them immune from liability for all of these additional deaths. That is corruption, and that should make you furious. And by the way, in March of last year, and again, I've seen a lot of this reported in right-wing media, the Cuomo administration issued an order, and it absolutely happened, that allowed nursing homes to readmit sick patients without COVID-19 testing. So they are sick, doesn't matter, they could have coronavirus, I don't know, throw them back in there anyway. And of course, people in nursing homes happen to be the most, vulnerable, not only to the virus, but in general, because they're the least, they're the most powerless. And so this is a situation that's going on here. It's disgusting. And of course, this is amid allegations of undercounted casualties. The governor also pushed back against pressure to have state regulators more stringently record and report death rates in those nursing homes. So shove them back into the nursing homes, they die, and then he says, we're going to not do regulation. And yet Cuomo is upheld in the media as some kind of hero. Absolutely. And it's disgusting. And we know what Cuomo wants. Cuomo is a political creature. Cuomo wants to run for president in the next election, or maybe the next one, 2024, who knows? And so it is disgusting, and it's unacceptable, And people need to be held accountable. And the people at the top need to be held accountable as well. I mean, are we going to see a situation where it's, oh no, he passes the buck down to the aides, and it's the aides, they're the ones who ultimately made these decisions. I didn't have anything to do with it, and so they're going to get punished while Cuomo continues to be held up as some sort of hero for coronavirus. I hope that's not what happens. I want to see some sort of justice, and understand that, by the way, yes, while right-wing media did break the story, and it's been corroborated by outlets like the New York Times, who's finally reporting on it. And you've got anger coming from both sides of the aisle. Politicians, Republican and Democratic politicians in New York are going after him and trying to take him to task. They've been trying to for months, but I don't know what's going to happen. I have to say that, if you're a liberal and you're somebody who holds up Cuomo to some really high, regard, and are not taking this story, I wouldn't say take it at face value, but even after looking into this, you're saying, Republican right-wing hit job, right? Understand that, like, if you're going to try to hold Trump accountable, which I think we should, for the many deaths that he caused under coronavirus by not doing anything, well, then we sure as hell also, in order to be consistent, to hold Cuomo accountable as well, because he knew the numbers, he made the decision, and his office had covered this up. I don't give a damn what party you're in, all right? It's wrong what DeSantis and Trump tried to hide the numbers, right? And it's wrong that Cuomo did as well. And so now we have evidence that they both did. And now everyone needs to be held accountable that, caused these deaths. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.